Problem 9126. Scott and Mark are rock climbing. Scott is at the top of a 75-foot cliff when he throws a 96-foot rope down to Mark, who is on the ground below. If the rope is stretched tightly from Mark's feet to Scott's feet, how far from the base of the cliff, directly below Scott, is Mark standing? Draw a diagram and label it. Then find the missing length. Is the length irrational? All right, so our first part of this is to draw a diagram. So let's imagine that we have a cliff here. And at the top of the cliff is Scott. The cliff is 75 feet. So 75 feet. Keep in mind this doesn't have to be anything fancy. Just basic is fine. So 75 feet. So he's there, and he throws a rope down to Mark, who is on the ground below. So here's Mark. And this is the rope. The rope was 96 feet. And we want to know how far is Mark standing from the base of the cliff. So that's going to be this side, which we don't know. Interesting that when we draw a diagram, it shows us that we have a right triangle here. So to solve for this missing length, let's use that Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. So now when I am looking at this diagram, I see that we have a leg of the triangle and a hypotenuse. So remember, the hypotenuse is always going to be the longest side. It's always C. It's always directly across from the right angle. So let's plug in. 75 can go in for A or B. It does not matter. So 75 squared plus B squared equals 96 squared. Now we can go ahead and put some numbers into our calculator. We're going to do 75 squared. When we put that in, it gives us 5,625. All right, we'll bring down our plus b squared, and then equals 96 squared gives us 9,216. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 5,625 from each side. That leaves me a 0 pair here. So I only have b squared left on this side. And if I do 9,216 minus 5,625, I get 3,591. Now keep in mind, this is not the missing side length. This is the missing side length squared. So to get just the length, we're going to unsquare, and to do that, we take the square root. That leaves us with b, and equals, I'm going to put in the square root of 3,591. That's going to give me 59.9249 5307. And it is at that point that my calculator maxes out of digits. So let's round up to the nearest hundredth. We'll say that he is standing about 59.92 feet from that cliff. And then our last part is saying whether this is a rational or irrational number. This is going to be irrational And that is because our decimal, it does not repeat and it does not terminate or end. So that is all we have for 9/126.